Hello, this is Great Guy Number 1 signing on again to talk to you about adults with autism. Last time I was on, I sparked some interest about asylums and what they were and what happened to them. The last time I was on, I talked a little bit about the lad school, so I want to just explain to you a little bit more about it. And if you're curious about it, you can just go on to Google and type in the lad school. The first thing that pops up is the Wikipedia about it, but then the second thing that pops up is the actual site that's dedicated. Asylums just like this were all over the country, and this is where people with special needs were kept. But this is the most infamous one, and it's in my state of Rhode Island. It's also the oldest, I believe. And it was shut down in 1993 with the rest of the asylums in the country. The idea was to lock them away from society because they weren't really good for society anyway. But parents really were the advocates to change the human rights laws, and with certain bills passing, we have the supports that we do now. I was asked before if this place is still standing, but if you go on the site right here, it has buildings. And that's an actual link to more information. You can look at what parts have been demolished and which parts still standing today. Like the superintendent's house is demolished, the laundry building is still intact, the power. The education and recreation center is actually still standing, and I've actually been in this building. It's a very, very creepy feeling. Needless to say, the quality of care was very, very poor. And I just noticed this, but all the kids in the picture are wearing the exact same or very similar attire. I'm not sure if that was a school thing or a dress code, but as you can see, it was like a giant campus, and this was filled with special needs as well as adults. Now I'm going to ask everybody to put their empathy shoes on, because I'm going to tell you how a parent was actually told that their child had to go to these facilities. I want you to picture yourself as a parent that just had a child that's exhibiting some behaviors that might not seem normal. You go and you have them tested. Tested, I'm going to put that in quotations because I'm not exactly sure how that process was done. You are told that they have idiocy, and they are an idiot, and they need to be kept away from society. I say that because these were actual diagnoses back in the day. Idiots, mongoloids, retards. And that was your actual documented description to why you had to be in an asylum. We have learned a lot in the past couple of decades as human beings, and in my opinion, we have evolved. Calling somebody that, no matter who they are, is really insulting, and especially insulting to the parent. Thankfully now we have evolved and we are more aware of proper diagnoses and medical terms. Now proper programs are in place for people with all different special varieties of special needs, and are useful. I'm telling you this all because history does tend to repeat itself, and the more we know, the more likely we can prevent that from happening. We can already see regression in programming due to things like state budget cuts, which is a common problem. In the agency that I work for as a behavioral specialist, there were budget cuts, and they had to take away some of the buildings. Now there's only one day when there used to be 3, and now overcrowding is a problem. And that is also a trigger for behaviors because there's a lot of clients that do not like crowds. So what I want to talk to you about with that aside is people with higher functioning autism and their behavior. A lot of the times I'm asked if behaviors follow into adulthood from adolescence. The answer is yes, they do follow into adulthood, but with proper programming and intervention plans, they can progress. But the sad news is that it's more challenging to teach a new skill to an adult. So what is the big difference between the adult world and the adolescent and child world? The big difference is human rights. We always have to remember that when they reach the age of 18, that human rights is in action. That means that they have the same rights as everyone else in society. They have a right to feel safe in their own home. They have the right to their own choice of doctor. They have the right to have sex. They have a right to an attorney. They have the right to marry somebody. After 21, they have the right to drink alcohol. And the toughest one on a lot of people is that they have the right to make poor decisions. I have worked with a client one time who drank alcohol and got intoxicated and had to go to the hospital for alcohol poisoning. This is where an intervention plan came in, and it became a safety concern, so therefore he was only able to drink non-alcoholic. And it had to be written and documented and signed by him and everything else. I had worked with an adult with autism that wanted to go to a strip club, and he was allowed to because it was his right. There are clients in this agency that are sexually active with each other. There are also clients that are married, and there are also clients that have children. What the direct care staff here have to do, and what I have to do, is make sure that I'm knowledgeable about what is safe and what is not. Clients that I mentioned still exhibit tantrums and sensory overloads. I am assigned today to take a client out fishing, and he is fairly high on the spectrum. He can speak. He can let you know what he's feeling. He is very prone to sensory overloads because he's easily excited, and he does such things as inappropriate touching and inappropriate verbals. I'm kind of expecting somewhat of a sensory overload, and maybe I'll just get some of it on audio. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? We're gonna go fishing.
Yeah.
We're gonna go?
Yeah. Oh, you're funny.
You're funny.
Where's this tree?
Where is it?
What kind of tree?
Okay.
Color my house.
What color is your house? Tell me. You tell me.
Coming today?
What?
Where's the fish pond?
The fish is coming. We're going up the road here to the lake.
I'm ready.
The constant asking of questions that he already knows the answer to is actually a precursor for sensory overload. Reel it in.
Brian.
We're going to keep our hands to ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had fun.
You had fun? You were here 2 seconds and now you want to go home.
What kind of glasses?
What?
Black.
The sensory overload that I was expecting was at a very, very minimum, but you did get to see some behaviors exhibited. In the adult world, I have to take the client home if he says he wants to go home. I cannot force him to be out when he doesn't want to be out. I hope you enjoyed Miranda's story today, and again, this is Great Guy Number 1 signing off.
Hi.
Mom, you don't have to say hi to everybody.
I want to.
No, because everybody's not your friend.
Because some people Yeah, hi. Hi. You say hi to me.
Yes, I saw that, Destin. If there's one thing that every child with autism needs, that's a pet. They can benefit them in so many different ways. It can help their social and emotional development. It can help their communication skills. It can help their relationship skills. Even helps with things like fine motor skills and things like impulse control and aggression. They learn to be gentle to that animal. They learn to be gentle with other people as well. If you have a child who doesn't communicate very well, but has an animal, and you sit down with that child and talk about their animal, it can make a big difference. So I personally find it amazing that there are things that animals can teach children that humans can't. While my sister was deployed overseas, we had her cat and her dog. And that was around the time that Destin was being tested for autism. We went 2 times and it was unsuccessful testing because he just would not cooperate at all. So the 3rd time, I called ahead and I asked them if I could bring my sister's dog along with Destin because he was very good with the dog and they had no problem with that. So I put 2 leashes on her so that Destin could control one, so he thought that he was in control of the dog. And that gave him a whole new purpose for being there. Everyone was asking about his dog and he wanted to tell them about her. And his testing was successful that day. If we had never taken the dog, who knows how long it would have taken. And it was awesome how the people doing the testing incorporated the dog into it to get him involved. It was amazing. Day 27 was skipped because I was dealing with a lot of worries, and day 28, all those worries came true, and my cat died. My cat was my best friend and my support through all the stress that I go through. So it was just kind of all over the place. So after the 30 days, I do a story to make up for day 27 and day 28. But I kept what I did do for day 28 because regardless of what it was about, it was part of my life during these 30 days. Destin, I don't...
Mom, watch it.
Destin, I don't know what you're saying. I have no idea what he's trying to tell me. He was telling me the name of an episode of one of his favorite cartoons. He wasn't saying the cartoon name, just the episode name. And I didn't know what he was saying. So I'm trying to guess, and that's just getting him more and more mad.
Mom.
Thank you everybody who donated and shared the thing for Prattle's surgery. Even though he didn't make it till surgery, the vet bill alone from everything they did was $598. So what was donated is really going to help out. I'm doing this now because a few hours ago when it actually happened, I was hysterical and there's no way I was able to even talk. I am going to make up the couple days that I didn't do the autism thing because I really do want to give the whole 30 days. I used to make him stuff. I used to make him like toy stuff. And like I used to lay by me all the time. He just would just come up to The other day I talked about the therapeutic effects of animals with children with autism.